Welcome back to another episode of How Hard Could It Be, where I DM a Dungeons & Dragons campaign, then fumble trying to stream it like a big Dumbo. Saturday, February 29th, I tried to stream a campaign I was abruptly pushed into. We had a good time, but my audio streams weren't set up, so it's just dead air. I'm going to try again this upcoming Saturday, but so everyone's not lost, I'm going to do a little episode about that campaign. A recap, not just for any potential viewers, but for my adventurers as well. This will mostly be audio, but I'll try to sync up my Roll20 video, and maybe flash some pictures. Without further ado, my friends, my adventurers, we come together today to tell a tale set in a universe far removed from our own. We drop into a world very strange. A melting pot of creation has been stirred together by forces unknown. Aeons ago, from primordial ooze came the Dru'Guinns, the firstborn. Little is known about them, but the scars they left on this realm are ever present. Massive insectoid monuments scrape the sky. Scars streak through jungles, mountains rent in two, craters formed from magical energies, leaving the very fabric of space and time torn asunder. History, however, is a long and fickle thing, and the Dru'Guinns seem to have mostly disappeared, although rumors say they still persist on the edges of reality and society. In their stead, new life came to be, of wild and wicked variety. Born from the clay, waters, woods, sky, and fire, life flourished, prospered, and clashed. Wars and peace alike were had. Slowly, however, entropy always wins, and society settled into an uneasy peace as peoples began to commingle with one another, side by side. Pasts were set aside in time, and few grudges were had by all. Some wonder if this peace came naturally, or if it was forced upon the world by outside forces wishing not to commit to the same mistakes that came before. For now we set aside the grand stage, and instead settle on a small caravan on its way to a village with a confluence of troubles. As the caravan approaches the town, a fuzzy inquisitive face pops out of one of the covered wagons. A great black fox head sniffs the air and savors the delightful smells all around. The guardhouse sounds a series of bells, bringing the village to attention. The caravan was early. Merchants and shopkeepers get their wares ready. The sizzling of a food cart sounds in the air a few moments later, and the caravan prepares to unpack a few of their own wares for trade. The dwarven buildings to the south continue to pound away at their various metalworking projects. The large furry face becomes a furry body cloaked in a black kimono and gray pants. He surveys the area, then rushes over to the caravan leader. Note of information. Arata speaks Japanese, or in this world, Onitsune, so I'll be pre-translating everything. Excuse me, where may I find a place to rest my head? The caravan leader gave the creature a puzzled look due to the strange language. He put his hands together and laid his head on his hands as if they were a pillow, giving the kitsune a questioning look. The kitsune nodded quickly, and the leader points over at the large brown-roofed building across the river. The kitsune voices gratitude before heading that direction. Cora, a thin waif of a rogue, wandered the market toward the caravan. Her eyes were looking for an easy score, an easy mark, some way to snatch something off of someone, something valuable to share with the less well-off in the village. A ring for Mark's wife to replace her lost wedding band. A shimmering crystal for Elsin's various magical experiments. Anything else that could be handy. These city-comers always had something going on. This time, though, pickings seemed to be slim. She did watch a strange black figure swoosh by her, and her attention was caught, and she decided to follow after him towards the inn. Another figure bounces her way out of the caravan. Hibiki, a boisterous blue lass wearing a tight blue top and baggy yellow trousers, hopped her way out of the wagon and stretched in the morning air before looking around. Her eyes quickly happened upon a seemingly well-off couple. A human man and an elven woman were talking with the dwarves. Between their body posture and movements, she could almost tell that they were upset about something. Being a kindly monk, she decided to see what was going on. "Hello, is there anything I can help you with?" "Hello, miss. You're not from around here. Did you come from the caravan?" "Yup. Did you, by chance, maybe see a large silver orb? Would have been about the size of a melon with big scales?" No, can't say I have, but I will certainly look around for it." "Thank you, ma'am." The couple exchanged troubled looks before wandering back towards town. With that, Hibiki wandered back to the caravan. She began to peek around in the various wagons around the area, trying to find the orb described to her. The The strange gentleman made his way into town. This was a red tiefling. He was dressed in very pointy-looking robes, and his left horn seemed to be replaced with a blackened chitinous mass instead of a matching red horn. He wandered his way towards the town, looking to merely stretch his leg before heading back to the caravan. To the northeast, a young woman has been training her body. The young monk was in the process of doing a series of exercises. She finished a set of push-ups, then began to lift a large rock. However, after a few repetitions, she fumbled the rock and dropped it. She laughed and gave the rock a light punch. "You win this time, Rocky. 50 laps around the village it is, then." With that, she began her morning run. Hibiki was confronted by the caravan leader. "Oi! What you doing sneak around over there? Best not be taking any of the merchant's goods, lass." "Oh, nothing like that. A local couple said they lost a special orb thing. Big, silver, like maybe yay big." "Ain't seen nothing like that, and I check all the goods coming in or out of this caravan. Don't need nothing attracting demons and the like." You didn't see anyone try to join the caravan in the middle of the road or anything on the way here?" "Nothing doing, lass. I stay alert the whole way. Nothing gets past these old eyes. No newbies since we left the city. Now quit your snooping, or at least do it somewhere else." Hibiki left the caravan a little dejected. She stumbled into the couple again. "Hey, I checked the caravan. Mr. Grouchy said there were no newcomers and no orb. I can kinda attest to that. I didn't see anything like your orb." The two seemed even more troubled as they exchanged worried looks. "It's okay. We're going to try and see about assembling a search party or something like that. If you see anything, let us know, okay? We are Lord and Lady De Silva. We're going to head to the inn and ask some more questions before we try to gather a search or adventurer party." "Well, I'll keep an eye out still for you." Hibiki smiled and jogged southwards, keeping her eyes peeled. At the inn, Arata entered the room with a light jingle of his hat. He took a deep breath and savored the scents of the rustic building before heading to the counter. The innkeeper gazed up at the massive figure before him and held his arms out welcomingly. "Welcome to my inn!" Arata spoke his strange language. "How much is a room?" The innkeeper sighed. Another distant foreigner with their strange regional dialects. He grabbed an amulet from beneath the counter. A Korra special. He hooked it over his neck and spoke. "Can you repeat that? How much is a room?" 1 gold. Arata opened his gold pouch and looked into the nearly empty cloth. He stuffed his snout into the open pouch and made a distressed noise before pulling it out and handing the innkeeper the gold piece. "That includes 3 meals a day, and of course the room, by the way. We're serving our first meal at the moment. We'll bring you out something if you'll sit down, please." The innkeeper gestured to a table. The kitsune was amazed as he heard his mother tongue from the man's mouth, or was it from the amulet? After all, it didn't seem to match his mouth movements. "Hi!" The kitsune bowed and moved to sit down in one of the chairs. Korra came into the inn just a moment later. The innkeeper called her over. "Korra, oi, I've got a job for you." She sighed in relief and walked over. "Alright, what you got for me?" "See that guy over there? Be his translator for his stay. I've got 5 silver pieces for you in return. Easy job, no thieving necessary." He took the amulet from himself and placed it around her neck instead. She huffed a little. This was not how her expertise was supposed to be used. "Oh, alright, fine." Korra walked over to the giant kitsune and sat next to him. The creature seemed startled a moment, having been briefly lost in thought, and he smiled to her. "My name is Arata Itsuki. What's your name?" "Korra. I'm Korra. Innkeeper passed me the amulet so I could act as your translator and whatnot." Arata thanked her. "What is the name of this town?" "It's Ininut. Pretty small place." The innkeeper came up with 2 dishes. "Korra, your usual, and for our new friend, a local special, the Ininut burger." As the two began to enjoy their meals, a commotion was about to brew outside. Nothing had found himself behind a market mainly meant for the locals, as Monaki went sprinting by him. Her mind was in the moment. New face. No time for that, though. Tall lad. Wait a minute. She slowly came to a stop. A new face. A new challenger has appeared. She whirled around and pointed at the tall tiefling. "You there, big guy, what's your name?" The tiefling responded with, "I am nothing." "Nothing, huh? Sure don't look it. What is your name, though?" "Nothing. I am nothing, but I will learn." "I see." "Well, nothing. My name is Monaki. You look strong. Spar with me." Monarchy proceeded to get into a readied stance. Fight time now! She dashed forward. Nothing snapped his fingers, and a thundercrack split the air behind her. She ignored it and surged forward nonetheless. Nothing swept his hand through the air, and a skeletal hand flew in his wake. Monarchy dodged around it easily. Whoa, nice tricks, but you'll have to try harder than that. Kia! Hibiki discovered the scene as she rounded a corner. She leaned against the wall to observe the sparring match, amused at the sight of it. Monarchy flew a quick punch at his torso and connected with his chest. It was barely a tap, just enough to prove her hit before she swung for his face. Her hand swept past him, however. She'd expected a dodge or a flinch, but he wasn't even fazed by her assault. He whirled suddenly and took a step back. He pointed a finger at her and hit her with a ray of cold. Monarchy felt a rush of cold sweep through her. She tried to strike back at him again, but by the time she had, he was gone. Monarchy watched the trailings of his robe sweep through the inside marketplace. Nice one, but your chills can't put out my flames. Monarchy leapt atop the roof and dashed across it. Hibiki followed close after, instead opting to go through the market, using her skills to dodge around the people left stunned in Nothing's wake. Before he could exit the opposite doorway, however, Monarchy dropped in front of him from the roof, leaving Nothing on the back foot. Before the two could do much more, though, a call came out. You there! Stop this horsing around right this second! Don't make me call the rest of the guard down upon you, Monarchy! A middle-aged man in full plate came waddling between the two buildings, huffing and puffing. Monarchy huffed and pouted, crossing her arms. Nothing, meanwhile, simply stood limply, stuffing his hands in his pocket. I swear, Monarchy, you'll be doing even more community service for this. You're lucky you were at the church grounds or you'd be locked up. Really, dude? I just finished the last service last week. Well, that's what happens when you go around fighting strangers. Jeez, just when it was getting interesting. Come on, man, you know what I'm about. I wasn't gonna hurt him. Too much. You win this round, tall guy. Sergeant Cooligan finally closed the distance between them all and looked at Monarchy and the two new strangers. All right, you all are coming with me. I seen your roughhousing. Although this blue lass may be off the hook, I didn't see her fighting. Still, you're coming as a witness at the very least. Monarchy, you can't go around fighting every person that comes across that blasted bridge. But it's all in the pursuit of my training. It's a win-win for everyone. Outside the inn, Lord and Lady De Silva stopped outside the doorway a moment. They exchanged a look, a few words between them, and then entered the inn. The couple scanned the patrons and their eyes alighted on a pair of people enjoying meals. The kitsune took a massive bite of his sandwich and chewed it down before letting out a sound of delight. Ah, delicious. How's yours? It's really good. It's my favorite meal. The two enjoyed their meals as the couple approached. Arata stood up abruptly and gave the couple a curt bow. Do you need help? Yes. We need to know if you found something very special to us. You speak Onitsune? We use the Allspeak. Okay. How can I help? We need to know if you've perhaps seen a large orb, around the size of a melon. It's silver and made up of large scales. No, I haven't seen your item. Can I look for it with you? I'd be happy to help. Thank you. It's been really stressful for us having lost this item of ours. I'm sure. Cora stands up after finishing her meal. Maybe if we gather more people we can find it easier. We were just about to talk to the mayor to set up a search party. Would you both mind accompanying us? I can help as well. Let us go. The four of them ventured to the tower, with the two De Silvas leading the way. They crossed their bridge and made it to the tower in a few minutes. And there the mayor and his wife were standing, surveying the caravan and the traders. The mayor and his wife were both blonde humans, dressed in fancy layered garb of green, with a variety of gilded embroidered patterns. Around them was a herd of girls playing a game of some sort. There was a 4-year-old, 6-year-old, an 11-year-old, and a 12-year-old. They all looked like the spitting image of their mother, except for one thing. They all had purely raven black hair. The children all turned to look at the people who came to their parents, and a simultaneous gasp sounded as they saw the Black Fox Man. The youngest one squealed in delight. He's so fluffy! Do you think I can pet him? Arata was amused at their collective excitement, and walked over to the children, and they all surrounded him, asking questions he couldn't answer, and they were all playing with his fuzzy tail. Lord and Lady De Silva, how are you doing today? I hope this lovely spring day finds you well. Mayor, I'm afraid it doesn't. We have lost something very precious to us. Mayor, I have some malcontents to find work for... Oh, I'm sorry. I appear to have interrupted you. I'm sorry, Lord De Silva. It's okay, Sergeant. Monarchy, Nothing, and Hibiki all followed behind the sergeant. Monarchy, largely disinterested, began to do a series of squats as she listened to the conversation. As I was saying, we've lost something important to us. A large silver orb around the size of a melon and covered with scales. We had it in our basement, but it's now gone without a trace. We've asked around about it, but have turned up nothing.
Oh my gosh! Who would take anything from our fellow townspeople? Why, the very thought is unthinkable. We have such an open and honest community. We were hoping that we could gather up some people to help us find it.
The mayor laughed a little. Well, our good sergeant seems to have brought you some volunteers, as well as the two you have brought your own. I think we've wrangled you a respectable little posse. Lord De Silva turns to the group gathered around them. Would you help us with our problem? The party all nods, except for Cooligan, who waves his hands. I shan't be part of this. But Monarchy, I expect you'll behave properly. If you don't, we have a room for you. You know that. With that, Cooligan grumbles and waddles away to a nearby food stall. Lady De Silva nods at them all in return.
Let us go to our home to show you the scene of the crime.
Lord and Lady De Silva lead the way to the south, towards their home between the forks of the river. On the way, they continue to talk about their problem.
When we woke up this morning, the orb was in its place. We went out to do some morning work, and when we came back, it was gone.
We tried to find some clues, but whoever took it didn't leave much behind. Nothing walked in what looked like disinterested silence. Hibiki seemed to hang on every word. Cora's mind wandered to treasure as it always does, wondering how valuable the giant orb is. Monarchy did jumping jacks the entire way, clearing ground through hopping forward as her arms swung up and down. Arato was still confounded by the fact that he could understand and hear his mother's tongue from them, but listened eagerly. We were outside working, so it's not like we wouldn't have seen someone snooping around our home. We just bought the property a few months ago and we've been working the land while trying to improve the home to make it more habitable. It's small, but it's ours.
You can see it there, just over the river. Isn't it cute? Sure, it's run down a little bit, but it's so perfect for us to build a family in.
We're not even sure where they could have gone. The roads to the other two cities look to be completely empty. The forest is too dense to really get anywhere quickly, and the other pathway is the ruins north of town.
The ruins is a dead end anyways. Literally dead. Going there might as well be the same as going to your grave. It looks like a straight shot to the ruins, but people never make it there and always somehow get lost. A lot of strange magic's left there.
It's just about the only place we can't check, however. We're not sure where else it could have gone, if not to the caravan. The guards say they haven't even seen anyone try to leave town. We're at a loss where it could be.
As the group came to the house, Lord and Lady De Silva led them down to the basement.
It was stolen from down here. As far as we know, this stairway is the only route to get into the basement.
As the group was led to the basement, they could see a massive pile of gold, gems, and jewelry. In the middle of the pile was a small divot where it would seem the orb would have been placed in the center.
This is where it should be. The strange thing is, as you can see, they didn't take anything else.
All this treasure that we've collected and they took nothing else, not a single item. Cora's fingers twitched as she stared at the giant pile of gold. So much just sitting there right in front of her. She clenched her fingers. The group as a whole began to investigate, aside from Monarchy, who shadowboxed instead of looking around. Arata leaned over the gold and sniffed a few times, and then had a sneezing fit. Arata walked out of the house as he continued to sneeze furiously. Nothing looked closer at the pile of gold and pointed at what appeared to be a trail of disturbances leading up to the divot at the top.
It's clear that they were after only one thing.
Monarchy stared at Hibiki, clearly thinking about fighting her. She smirked. Hibiki noticed Monarchy's stare and waved at her in return with a grin. Oh yeah, I totally want to punch that face, Monarchy thought to herself. Arata came back down after his sneezing fit was over, in order to look around some more at the crime scene. Cora walked over to a window that appeared to be missing, although she was a little short to actually look through it. Arata came up behind her and grasped her by the waist and lifted her up unprovoked. She looked through the window and felt around. She saw a footprint. It looks like they came in through here. It's a little small for a full-size person, however. I'm not sure how they could get in through here and get out. Hibiki tapped at her chin a little. There's nothing really here. If there was, nobody's going down the roads. Maybe we should check those ruins. Even if they're dangerous, I'm sure we can all handle it. Nothing glanced at the two De Silvas with a frown.
Go on ahead. I'll try to catch up. I need to talk to our employers first.
The group agreed, and all but Nothing headed towards the ruins. To be continued. Now, if you enjoyed this little story starter, subscribe to my channel. I'm looking forward to DMing the rest of this little story every other weekend or so. Of course, here's where my challenges come in. So let's talk about that for a hot minute or so. First of all, prepping for dungeon mastering is... boy, there is a lot. Trying to come up with names, entities, how to corral your players into an actual group, and all of that. All done on the fly. Voice acting what you can. Hell, I don't even have character sheets for any of these people, just icons on Roll20. I had to make the town map myself, which that took more than a little while. It's kind of a mess, but it's a decent representation of what I was trying to throw together. A hodgepodge of different cultures all coexisting. I threw all of this together in a night when I was surprised with a call to DM a few weekends ago. Like I said before, I tried to stream this first session, but I guess none of the sound actually came through or something, because when I try to rewatch it, it's just silence. That's why I'm making this video. Of course, now I'm trying to piece together the story we were all co-creating with nothing but a few typed dialogue lines, actions, and roles, and my own faulty memory. I'm hoping my friends appreciate the effort put forth to do it, and hopefully I can fix my stream issues so I don't have to do this again. Hopefully. Alright, that's all I have to say on the matter. So, make a character sheet, throw some dice, roleplay a bird wizard, make a pun name, and try not to fail at gathering up everyone for a steady session rate.
Nani?
That's the actual hardest part of playing Dungeons & Dragons.